The ship came down slowly, cutting through the thick red clouds. The planet below looked dead. No movement. No sound. Just a silent desert with black rocks and cracked ground. Captain Ray stood at the window of the ship, his eyes sharp. "This is it," he said. "Planet Zeta 9, let's find the crystal and get out." Behind him, 4 crew members were checking their equipment. Dr. Layla, the scientist. Tor, the ex-soldier. Zin, the alien engineer from planet Eryx. And finally, Juno, the young pilot with a nervous smile. The ship landed with a soft thud. Dust flew in every direction. They stepped out, one by one. Their boots touched the silent soil. It felt soft. Too soft, like walking on ash. Juno looked around. "Why is it so quiet? No birds, no bugs," Layla whispered. "Not even wind." Tor scanned the area with his visor. No heat signals. No life signs, nothing. Captain Ray looked up. The sky was red, like it was always sunset. The sun was hidden behind a thick layer of fog. Suddenly, Zin spoke. "I don't like this. My sensors are acting strange." The ground under them gave a small shake. Ray looked at the crew. "Stay close. Keep eyes open." They started walking toward the signal. The scanner on Layla's wrist showed a blinking blue light. The energy crystal was 2 kilometers away. As they walked, they passed strange things. A giant skeleton. Bones bigger than any Earth animal. Torn flesh still hanging from broken ribs. "What the hell is that?" Tor asked. Zin stepped forward, scanning. This creature was 9 meters tall. Claws like swords, killed by something bigger. Layla knelt beside it. "Look at the bite marks. They go through bone." Ray said nothing. But his jaw tightened. Something killed this monster, and it wasn't friendly. As they moved forward, the rocks began to change. Black stones became gray. The ground became cracked and glassy, like it had been burned. Juno stepped on something that crunched. She looked down and screamed. Bones, hundreds of small bones. Tiny skulls, a whole field of them. "What is this place?" She whispered. Zin's eyes widened. A hunting ground. Suddenly, the scanner beeped. "Movement," Layla said. 300 meters west. Fast, very fast. The crew raised their weapons. Eyes scanned the fog. Then they saw it. A blur moved across the ridge. Then another. Shapes. 6-legged creatures tall as trees, moving like shadows. One of them leaped, landing hard. It was a beast. 4 eyes, long black fur, and teeth like knives. It roared. But it wasn't roaring at them. It was chasing something. Small robot dog, a scout drone, was running for its life. The beast lunged. The crew raised weapons. But then something strange happened. The beast saw them and stopped. Its eyes locked on Captain Ray. Then it whimpered. It backed away. It turned and ran. The other shapes in the fog vanished. Complete silence again. No attack. No sound, just fear. What just happened? Juno whispered. Layla looked shocked. "It ran? From us?" "No," Zin said slowly. "It ran from him." He pointed at Captain Ray. Everyone turned to Ray. Ray stared into the fog. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. "I think," he said slowly, "they're afraid of humans." The crew set up a small base near a group of rocks. Solar shields went up. Scanners were placed in every direction. "I've seen a lot of strange creatures," Tor said, "but never one that runs from a fight." Zin was still scanning the area. "This planet, it's alive, not in the normal way. The rocks, the air, even the soil has some kind of code inside." "Like a signal?" Layla asked. "No, like a memory." Juno sat by the campfire shaking. "Why would they fear us? We just got here." Captain Ray didn't speak. Instead, he pulled out an old data chip from his jacket. "This planet was visited before, 300 years ago. One human was left behind. Tor raised an eyebrow. One human? Her name was Kara Voss, Ray said. United Earth Forces, she was a soldier, lost in battle. Never found, Layla leaned forward. Ah. You saying she survived? Here? Ray nodded. Maybe, maybe not. But her name shows up in alien records, stories, warnings. Juno looked confused. What kind of stories? Stories that say, Ray said slowly. She turned this place into a nightmare. Night came, the sky turned darker. Stars were hidden behind red clouds. Suddenly, the camp's alarm beeped. Red lights flashed. Movement, all around, Layla said. The crew jumped up. Weapons ready. On every scanner screen, dots appeared. Too many to count. They were surrounded. But again. No attack. Captain Ray stepped out of the shield. He looked into the dark. Eyes stared. Back. Hundreds of them. Big and small. But none moved forward. Then a low growl came from the dark. A shadow stepped forward. It was a smaller beast. Thin, with one broken horn. It walked slowly and placed something on the ground. A metal plate. The crew picked it up. It was old, rusted, but one word was still clear. Kara. The beast looked at Ray and bowed. Then vanished into the dark. Back in the ship, Zin was analyzing the plate. This metal is from Earth, but changed, melted, reshaped. Layla added, she must have lived here, fought here, maybe even ruled here. Captain Ray stared at the stars. This planet remembers her, he said. It remembers humans. Tor shook his head. So we're legends now? Monsters under the bed? Maybe, Layla said. Or gods, Ray turned to them. We keep moving tomorrow. The signal is close, but so is the truth. Juno asked, do you think she's still alive? Ray didn't answer. But deep in the fog, a shadow moved, watching them. Not running, not hiding. Just waiting. Next morning, the crew marched toward the crystal signal. Every step felt heavier. The planet was quiet, but not empty. They passed more bones, old weapons, alien machines half buried in sand. Then they found it. A cave. Deep, black and silent. Inside was the signal. They entered slowly. The walls were covered in carvings. Strange art, beasts fighting, and always one human in the middle. A woman, alone. Kara Voss. They reached the end of the cave. The crystal was floating. Glowing blue. Energy cracked in the air. Layla reached out. We found it, but before she could touch it, a voice echoed through the cave. A voice that spoke in old Earth English. A woman's voice. You should not be here. The crew froze. Who's there? Ray shouted. No answer. Just the sound of footsteps. And breathing. The air turned cold. The crystal flickered. Zin whispered. It's her. She's still here. The red sun had gone down, but the planet was not dark. A strange light came from the trees. Not a soft light, but a whispering light. Like the trees were speaking in a secret language. Captain Ray and his crew moved carefully through the forest. The trees were tall and thin, their branches swaying without wind. Strange noises echoed, but no bird or animal appeared. Layla held her scanner tightly. These trees, they are different. They're not just plants. They record sounds, memories. Juno shivered. Memories? Trees can do that. Zin nodded slowly. Yes, the trees here remember everything that happened. They play it back in whispers. Suddenly, a soft voice came through the forest. Run, run. The crew stopped. Is that a warning? Asked Tor, gripping his weapon tighter. Ray looked around. Or a message. They moved forward, following the voice. The trees' whispers grew louder. They sounded like echoes of battles, cries of pain, and strange voices speaking in many languages. Then, in a small clearing, they found it, a crashed ship, half buried in the soil, broken and old. The ship was covered in strange symbols. The paint was faded, but a symbol was clear, a circle with 3 lines, the mark of a species called the Zarkans. Layla bent down and picked up a small device. It was a recording player, still working. She pressed play. A rough voice started. "Speaking, this is Captain Reth. Our ship is lost. The beasts hunt us everywhere. But we have found a new threat. Humans." The crew listened in silence. The recording continued. It spoke of a battle, a last stand, and a human soldier who fought like a demon. This human. "She is called Caravas," the voice said. "She kills with no mercy. The beasts fear her. The Zarkans fear her. All fear humans." Layla looked up. "So Caravas is a legend here, a monster," Ray said. "Not just a monster. A weapon." Suddenly, a shadow moved in the trees. The crew turned quickly. Out stepped an alien. Thin, green skin, glowing eyes. He was tall, but his body looked weak. "I am Keln," he said in broken English. "I watch the forest." Ray lowered his weapon. "We come in peace." Keln nodded. "You bring trouble. The trees warn us. The beasts hunt everything, but flee when they see a human." Juno frowned. "Why do they fear us so much?" Keln's eyes darkened. "Because of the curse." "The curse?" Layla asked. Keln looked around nervously. "Long ago, a human came here. She fought the beasts, but she did not stop. She used a power, a virus that made the beasts afraid. It changed them. They cannot see humans without fear." Ree's face grew serious. "The virus is still here?" Keln nodded. "Yes, the planet remembers. The virus lives in the air, the trees, the soil. It changes everything." Layla whispered. "That explains why the beasts ran from us." Keln said, "But the curse is more than fear. It makes the beasts obedient. They hunt for the humans' enemies. But they run from humans themselves." Ray looked at the crew. "We need to find Caravas. She is the key." Juno asked, "Is she alive?" Keln shook his head. "No one knows. Some say she is part of the planet now." The forest grew darker. The whispers changed. "Leave," they said. "Leave before the old ones wake." Ray looked at the trees. "Old ones?" Keln nodded. "The ancient beasts. The original hunters. If they wake, no one survives." Suddenly, a low roar echoed through the forest. The crew raised their weapons. The trees whispered louder. The shadows moved, and the hunt began. The forest was shaking. The roars of the beasts echoed through the trees. Captain Ray and his crew ran between thick roots and glowing plants. Behind them, something huge was moving. "Fast! Go left!" Ray shouted. Juno turned the light on her helmet. The fog was too thick. She could barely see 3 meters ahead. Zin tripped and fell. Tor pulled him up. "Move!" The crew came to a large stone wall, covered in moss and vines. Layla touched it. "This is not natural." Ray looked closely. "It's a door." Zin's fingers danced over the stone. "It's old human tech, Earth style, maybe 300 years old." "Then open it," Ray said. Zin pressed his hand on a hidden panel. The wall vibrated, and a low hum started. Slowly, the stone wall opened, revealing a dark tunnel going underground. Crew ran inside. The door shut behind them. Darkness. Then, lights flickered on. Soft blue light ran through the walls. Screens lit up. Dust floated in the air. They had entered a bunker. Layla's voice was quiet. This place was made by Caravas. Old human markings were everywhere. Earth letters, broken signs, and worn-out symbols from the old United Earth. "Forces." Tor looked at the weapons lined along the wall. "These are not normal guns," Zin nodded. "These are fear weapons. Neuroblasters, mind shockers. They were banned." Juno picked up a helmet. On the side was a name, scratched by hand. K. Voss. Ray walked to a wall filled with drawings. hand-painted, angry, and wild. Each picture showed Karavos fighting giant beasts, alien soldiers, flying monsters. A lone dot at the center of the wall was a sentence written in red. They hunted me. I hunted back. Suddenly, one of the screens turned on a video. They gathered. Around, a woman appeared on the screen, dirty, bloody, tired, but strong. Her voice was rough but calm. My name is Karavas. If you're watching this, I'm probably dead. But my war is not over. She paused, then continued. They dropped me here, left me alone. I fought to survive. I found the virus in the ruins of a dead lab. I didn't plan to use it. But the beasts gave me no choice. The screen glitched. Her eyes burned with anger. The virus makes them afraid. Afraid of humans. It changes their brains. They see us. And they panic. Run. Obey or die. Layla whispered. She made herself a god. Kara continued. But fear is not control. Fear is chaos. Some beasts worship me. Some hide, but some. They hate. They hide deep underground, waiting. I call them the old ones. The screen faded. Silence. Tor said. She turned this whole planet into her weapon. Zin was scanning the bunker. This base, it's alive. An ice system is still running. The AI is connected to something big underground. Juno looked nervous. You mean Kara is still alive? Layla shook her head. Not alive, but maybe not dead either. Ray touched the wall. Maybe her mind is inside the planet now. Suddenly, the screen turned on again. This time, not a video, a map, the entire planet. Marked with red zones, old battle sites. Blue zones, beast territories. And one glowing green zone, deep underground. The bunker zoomed in. A word appeared. Core. Zin gasped. That's the central AI chamber. Kara's last signal came from there. Ray nodded. Then that's where we go next. Tor growled. And what if the old ones are waiting there? Ree's voice was calm. Then we finish her war. They spent the night in the bunker. Layla sat beside an old terminal, reading. Kara's logs. She was more than a soldier, she said. She was a weapon, Juno asked. But was she a hero or a villain? No one answered. Ray looked at an old photo on the wall. Kara in uniform, holding a rifle, smiling. The only smile in the whole bunker. She was left behind, he said. Forgotten, she became something else. Maybe she saved the planet. Or maybe she cursed it. Zin was quiet. The virus she used still lives. It's in the air. In us. Tor stood up. You saying we're infected? Not sick, Zin replied. Changed, slowly. Our brains are adapting. That's why the beasts fear us. Layla whispered. We're becoming like her. Everyone fell silent. Outside in the forest, the whispers returned. But this time, they were louder. Awaken them. The last weapon returns. She is not gone. Next morning, they left the bunker. The forest was empty. No beasts, no watchers. Just silence. As they moved toward the green zone marked on the map, the ground began to change. Trees faded. Rocks turned black. The sky grew darker. Then, in the middle of the black desert, they found it. A giant metal door, half buried in ash. Zin scanned it. This is the core entrance, last signal location. But something's blocking it. A firewall. Ray raised his hand. Look. Near the door stood a statue, a beast, kneeling before a human figure. A tribute, Karavos. Tor stepped forward. They remember her. Suddenly, the ground shook. A deep roar came from below. Then the door began to open. A wave of cold air rushed out, and a voice. Not loud, but inside their heads. You are not ready. Ray clenched his fists. We are now. They stepped inside. Darkness swallowed them. The core awaited. The metal door closed behind them. Silence. Total and Deep. Captain Ray and his crew stood inside the core entrance. Cold air touched their skin. It wasn't wind. It felt like something. Breathing, Zin switched on his helmet light. The tunnel ahead was wide, with walls made of black metal. Strange symbols glowed faintly on every side. The air smelled of rust and dust. "This place is old," Layla whispered. "Too old," said Tor. Holding his weapon tightly, they moved deeper. Every step echoed. No sounds came from anywhere. Even the scanners were silent. No life signs. No signals. Juno's voice shook. "Why is it so quiet?" Zin answered, "Because they want it to be." Suddenly, their lights flickered. The walls glowed. And the whispers returned. Inside their heads. "She waits. She sees. They are waking." Ray stopped. "Stay sharp." They reached a wide circular chamber. In the center was a glowing pool, blue liquid, moving without sound. Layla bent near it. "This isn't water. It's memory." "Liquid memory," Juno frowned. "That doesn't make sense." Zin explained. "Kura's AI is not a machine anymore. It's part of this place. This liquid stores thought. It stores her." Ray looked into the pool. A face appeared, Kara Voss. But her eyes were different, glowing white. Empty. Her voice echoed in the room, not from speakers, but from the air itself. "You came." Ray stepped forward. "Kara Voss? Are you still alive?" The voice answered. "I am no longer one. I am many." Suddenly, shadows moved behind them. Dozens of glowing eyes. In the fog. Juno gasped. "We're surrounded." The fog thickened. The shapes got closer. Long arms, sharp teeth. But none attacked. They just stared. Tor raised his rifle. "What are they waiting for?" "They wait for your fear," Kara's voice said. "They feed on it. But you are like me now." Layla shouted. "What do you want from us?" Silence. Then the voice said, "To finish what I started." The fog shifted. From the darkness, one creature stepped forward. Unlike the others, this one wore armor. It held a staff. It spoke in broken English. "You are not her, but you carry her scent." Ray asked, "Who are you?" "I am CERN," it replied. "Watcher of the core." Layla asked, "Why didn't you attack us?" CERN looked at the fog. "Because you are the only ones who can stop them." Juno asked, "Stop who?" CERN turned and pointed at a massive gate across the chamber. "The old ones." Everyone stared. The gate was carved with strange symbols. Massive chains held it shut. From behind the gate came a deep growl, so low it shook the floor. Zin scanned it. "The creatures behind that gate. They're not like the ones we've seen. They're older, smarter." CERN said, "Long ago Kara sealed them, but the seal grows weak. The fog is their breath. Soon they will return." Ray looked at the crew. "And Earth has no idea." Kara's voice returned. "You can still run, but they will follow. They always follow." Ray clenched his jaw. "We're not running." The crew set up temporary camp near the core's control room. Zin connected with the system. "This I isn't just a copy of Kara," he said. "It's her entire mind. Her thoughts, memories, emotions, even her pain." Layla looked through the data logs. "She stayed here for 47 years, alone, fighting, building, planning." Tor stared at a cracked photo of Kara and her squad. All of them were gone now, except her. "What kind of human becomes a virus?" he asked. Zin answered, "The kind who was left to die." Later that night, fog crept back inside the chamber. Juno was on watch. She stared into the thick mist. Eyes stared back, not moving, not blinking. Just watching. She held her weapon tight, heart pounding. Then something whispered behind her, "Do not fear." She spun around. No one. Then the fog parted slightly, and a human figure stood there. Tall, female, hair tied back, covered in armor. Kara Vos. Juno froze. You're not real. The figure stepped closer. I am what remains. Juno's voice shook. What do you want? Kara whispered. To warn you. About what? Kara turned and pointed at the sealed gate. They are not beasts. They are minds, machines, hunters of memory. They fear no weapon. Only one thing stops them, truth. Juno blinked. Truth? But Kara had vanished. Morning came, or what? They guessed was morning, because the core had no sky. Zin stood by the sealed gate. I've decoded the lock, but opening it will wake them. Ray nodded. And what happens if we don't open it? Kara's voice answered from the chamber walls. They will break free anyway. Then there will be no time to prepare. Ray turned to the crew. This is not just about this planet. These things. They'll spread. If Earth finds this place and brings them home, we lose everything. Layla said, so what's the plan? Ray answered, we go in first, wake them, see what they are. And if we can stop them. Tor loaded his rifle. Finally. Juno looked scared, but stood tall. We end it. Zin typed the command. The gate opened. Slowly. Silently. The fog rolled in faster than before, and from the shadows something stepped out. It was not a beast. It was tall, thin, made of dark metal and flesh. No eyes, no mouth, but they felt it. Inside their minds, a voice spoke. Not with sound, but straight into their brains. Human. Virus must be erased. The creature raised its arm. Screams filled the air, not from mouths but memories. Their worst fears, their childhood pain, their guilt, all at once. Tor dropped to his knees. Make it stop. Zin fell back, shaking. Juno cried. Layla screamed. Only Ray stood still. He stared at the creature and shouted, I am human. The fog stopped. The creature paused. Ray's voice was steady. You fear us because we do not obey. We survive. We change. The creature twitched. You are not like her. No, Ray said. But I carry her will. He raised his hand. The room lit up. Kara's memory I poured from the walls, the ceiling, the floor, flooding the core with her voice, her thoughts, her strength. Creature roared. More creatures stepped from the gate. Too many. Ray looked at the crew. Fall back to the command deck. We fight from there. But Kara's voice echoed again. No more running. The core was breaking. Red lights flashed across the black walls. Alarms screamed in strange alien tones. The fog grew thick and the air became cold. Captain Ray and his crew ran through the corridors. Behind them, the old ones were waking. Tall, metal beasts with no eyes, no skin, only dark armor and deep, shaking voices inside their minds. Zin shouted, the AI is trying to hold them back, but it won't last. Ray pulled Juno forward. We have to reach the command center. Tor turned and fired. One of the beasts dropped, not dead, but slowed. These things don't bleed. Layla shouted, they don't need blood. They feed on fear. The crew crashed into the command chamber. Zin slammed the door shut and locked it. Lights flickered above. At the center of the room was a tall control pillar, still glowing. Kara's voice came through the speakers, weaker now, fading. You saw them. Now you understand. Ray looked at the pillar. You created this. You made them fear us. Why? Kara's voice whispered. Because it was the only way. Zin tapped into the terminal. His hands moved fast. I found it, her core logs. The truth behind the virus. Everything she did is in here. He pulled up Kara's personal records. Hundreds of files, audio logs, and video messages filled the screen. Layla clicked the oldest log. Kara's voice played. Younger, shaky, day 16. Alone, running out of food, surrounded. They never stop. I killed 20 yesterday. But they keep coming. I don't know how long I can last. They played the next one. Day 39. Found an old alien lab, broken. But there's something here. A chemical. A brain rewriter. Used for training war beasts. Maybe I can change it. Another. Day 74. I've done it. The virus is working. The beasts saw me and ran. Not fear like animals. Deep fear. Their minds are screaming. Tor stepped back. She didn't just fight them. She broke them. Zin explained. She made the virus smart. It spreads through breath, touch, sound. When the beasts see a human, it activates. Instant fear. Layla said softly, "It's not just fear, it's submission." Ray stared at the logs. She turned the human face into a command. Suddenly, Juno fell to her knees. She held her head, eyes wide. Voices. So loud, Ray knelt beside her. "Juno, what's wrong?" She looked up, but her eyes were glowing faint blue. Zin scanned her. "Oh no, the virus is mutating. It's reacting to her brain." Layla checked the readings. She's not just infected. She's connecting to the planet, to Kara's mind. Juno spoke slowly, but not with her own voice. She is still. Here, in all of us. The room fell silent. Juno stood up, stronger now. Her voice returned. I saw her, inside the virus. She never left. Her thoughts, memories. They're inside the fog, the trees, the beasts. Everything. Ray asked, "What does she want now?" Juno replied, "She wants to stop the curse. But it's too late. The old ones are free." Outside, the ground shook. The doors to the command center bent. Something was hitting them, again and again. Tor prepared his rifle. "We make a stand," Zin shouted. "Wait! There's another." "Log." Layla clicked the file. Kara's voice returned. "To the one who finds this, I'm sorry. I never wanted this. I was alone. I made a weapon, not a cure. And now the fear has grown too strong. The old ones were immune. But they waited. They let the others fall. Now they rise. There's only one way left. Go to the heart tree. The virus started there. Only there can it end." Ray asked, "Where is it?" Zin pulled up a map. "Not far, deep in the forest. A living machine. Half tree, half AI." Layla nodded. "We take Juno. Her mind is the key now." Ray turned to the others. "We open the path. We finish what Kara started." The crew blasted through the back exit of the command center. Fog filled the sky. The beasts roared behind them, but something strange happened. As Juno stepped out. The beasts stopped. They backed away, watched, but didn't follow. Tor blinked. They're scared of her. Layla said, "She's becoming the next Kara Voss." Hours passed. The forest grew darker. Strange lights blinked between the trees. The air felt alive, like the planet itself was watching them. Then they saw it, the heart tree, a giant tree made of glass, roots of metal, branches glowing blue. It pulsed like a heart. Juno walked toward it, slow and calm. The tree opened. A doorway of light appeared. Ray grabbed her arm. "You sure?" Juno smiled. "I can hear her now, Kara. She's tired. She wants it to end." Juno stepped inside. The crew waited. Minutes passed. Then light shot out of the heart tree, into the sky, into the clouds, into the ground. Everywhere. The fog pulled back. The roars stopped. Silence. And then peace. Juno walked out of the tree. She was different. Stronger. Still human, but touched by something greater. Ray asked, "What happened?" She smiled. "She's gone now, Kara. I ended the virus. The fear is over." Zin checked his scanner. "The beasts. They're normal again. No fear, no madness, just wild." Tor laughed. "They're not scared of us anymore?" Layla said, "No, and that's a good thing." Ray nodded. "It means we earned peace." Juno looked at the sky. "I gave her a place to rest. No more war. No more whispers." Back at the ship, The crew watched as the beasts returned to the forests. No attacks, no stalking. Just natural life, Zin said. The virus is truly gone, Tor smiled. Finally. Ray stood outside the ship, staring at the red sky. Kara. Voss turned fear into a weapon, but in the end, a young girl brought peace. He looked at Juno. She smiled. Quietly. Inside the forest, far from sight, a single statue stood. Kara Voss. Her face calm, her hands empty, and a small sign at her feet. She was the last weapon, and the first piece. The sky above planet Zeta 9 was calm now. No more fog. No more whispers. Captain Ray stood outside the ship, watching the red sun rise. For the first time since they landed, the world felt quiet. Inside, Juno sat near the window. Her eyes were calm, but her mind was not. The connection to Kara Voss was gone, but something else had taken its place. Something deep, something old. Zin walked over. Still hearing anything? Juno shook her head. No whispers, no voices, but I feel watched. They spent 2 days repairing the ship. Tor fixed the weapons. Layla checked medical scans. Everything looked normal. Too normal. It's like the planet is sleeping, Layla said. Zin frowned. Or waiting. Late. That night, the ship's alarm beeped. Motion detected. 1 kilometer north. Ray, Tor, and Zin took the rover and drove toward the signal. They reached a broken valley, black rocks and dead trees, and in the middle of the valley was something strange, a hole, perfectly round, deep, carved into the ground. It wasn't there before. Ray stepped closer. What is this? Zin scanned it. His face went pale. This isn't natural. It's not made by beasts. Tor looked inside. It's too deep. I can't see the bottom. Suddenly, a loud pulse came from the hole, a vibration, and then a sound. Not a roar, not a whisper, but a deep, ancient hum, like a machine waking up after sleeping for centuries. Back at the ship, Juno woke from sleep, gasping. I saw it, she said, a shape in the dark, beneath the ground. Layla held her hand. What kind of shape? Juno whispered. It was not alive, not dead, just watching, waiting for the virus to die. Now it's free. Next morning, Zin connected to old Kara logs. He found a hidden file. Project Zero. They opened it. Kara's voice played again. This time colder, afraid. I didn't make the virus. I found it. Deep below the surface. I thought it was a weapon, but it was a shield. The real danger is what it was keeping out. Zin read further. There's a second layer beneath this planet. A prison. Tor said, so what's in the prison? Ray replied, something Kara couldn't kill. They returned to the hole. It had grown wider. Cracks spread across the land around it. Suddenly, a figure crawled out. It wasn't a beast. It was a machine, walking on long metal legs, covered in dust, half alive, half broken. It looked at them. Then spoke in perfect human English. Begin observation. Subject, human. Category, virus. Tor raised his weapon. You want to fight? The machine didn't answer. It simply turned and walked back into the hole. Disappeared. Zin's hands shook. That was not one of Kara's machines. That was ancient, Layla said. It called us a virus. Ray stared into the pit. Maybe we are. To something older than even Kara. Back on the ship, Juno opened her eyes. I know what's under the surface, she said. It's not a weapon. It's not a beast. It's a judge. Layla frowned. A judge, Juno nodded. Before humans, before Kara, before the beasts, there was something else. Something that watches life, measures it, decides if it can stay, Ray asked. And now? Juno's face was pale. It has awakened. And it's judging Earth next. That night, the crew argued. Tor said, we blow the hole. Seal it, Zin said. You can't destroy what's not fully here yet. Layla said, we should send a warning to Earth. Ray listened, then made a choice. We go down. Everyone turned to him. Juno said, it's too dangerous. That thing ... It's not from here. Ray nodded. But we brought the virus. We woke the old ones. We ended Kara's curse. He looked out the window. Now we finish what she couldn't. We face what's below. At dawn, the crew stood at the edge of the hole. Zin had built a cable system and signal relay. Juno, Ray, Layla, and Tor began the descent. The light faded fast. After 100 meters, the walls began to change, metal, symbols. Old machines trapped in the stone. Ray touched one. It turned on. After centuries. A deep voice echoed through the shaft. Human, identified. Final phase, testing. They reached a platform. It was not part of the planet. It was a ship, massive, buried underground, shaped like a hive. Inside it, silence. The team stepped in. Symbols lit up under their feet. A cold air passed by. Then a voice, mechanical, female, spoke. One virus dies. Another awakens. Ray shouted, show yourself. And something stepped out of the darkness. Not Kara, not a beast, but a figure made of light and metal. No face, just shifting patterns. I am the first machine, made before time. Sent to watch and correct. Layla whispered, correct. What? The figure replied, life. The chamber was cold and silent. Captain Ray stood still, eyes locked on the glowing figure in front of him. It had no face, no mouth, just shifting lines of light, moving across a smooth, silver body. The voice echoed inside their heads. I am the first machine. I was here before your kind, before your wars, before fear. Layla stepped forward slowly. Are you alive? The figure replied, I am not alive, I am not dead, I am function. Tor raised his rifle. What kind of function? To measure life, to judge it, to decide if it deserves to exist. Silence filled the room. Zin whispered, this thing. It's not a weapon. It's a system. Ray asked, then why now? Why wake up after all these years? The answer came fast. Because the virus is gone. The interference is cleared. Judgment can begin. Juno stepped forward. She could feel something deep in her head. A signal. A voice calling. The machine turned to her. You carry her code. Caravas. Her imprint lives in your cells. Juno nodded. She's gone. I ended the virus. Yes, but you carry the memory. Ray asked, what are you going to do with US? The machine's body shifted, turning into symbols. Strange Earth letters, alien signs, unknown patterns. I will test you. Earth will be tested. If you pass, your kind may spread. If you fail, you will be erased. Tor growled. You think we'll just accept that? The machine replied calmly. It is not about acceptance. It is about result. The walls of the chamber changed. Screens appeared, tall and wide, showing images of Earth, cities, wars, floods, fires, children, hope, violence, sacrifice. The voice said, you are both creation and destruction. Mercy and rage, unity and division. Layla whispered, we're human. The machine continued, you have grown. But you carry danger. Kara proved this. Fear is a weapon. Minds rewritten. Beasts enslaved. This is not evolution. This is infection. Zin shouted. She was trying to survive. Survival is not justification, the voice said. Now, you will face what Kara never did. The truth test. Suddenly, the floor dropped. The crew fell through light and landed, each in a different place. Separated. Alone. Comma. Ray stood in a battlefield. The ground was red with blood. Human and alien bodies all around. Ahead he saw himself, older, colder, giving orders to destroy a peaceful village. The machine's voice echoed, "If peace costs control." "Will you still want it?" Ray shouted. "I won't become that." The older version of him laughed. "You already are." Ray looked down. His hands were covered in blood. Layla woke in a lab. Dozens of test subjects inside cages. Children. Beasts, hybrids. All begging to be let out. A console blinked. One button. "Erase all," the voice asked. "If knowledge demands cruelty, will you still seek it?" Layla backed away. "I'm not this." "I would never," but her fingers had already touched the button. Tears filled her eyes. Tor stood in a burning city. Civilians ran. Soldiers fought. He held the last escape code in his hand. But there was only time to save himself or the others. The voice spoke. "You were built to fight. Can you be more?" Tor screamed in rage. Then dropped the code into the crowd and burned with them. Juno floated in darkness. No sound. No light. Only the machine and Kara's echo. The voice said, "You carry two minds, yours and hers. Which one will you keep?" "Kara's." Voice whispered, "Let me go. Let the pain end." Juno closed her eyes, reached inside her thoughts, and let Kara fade. Suddenly, all four of them woke up, back in the chamber, sweating, shaking, changed. The machine stood silently. "The test is complete," Ray asked. "Did we pass?" A long pause. Then, "You are not perfect, but you are aware. That is enough for now." The walls opened. A new path appeared, leading back to the surface. Juno whispered, "We're free." The machine said, "You are not free. You are observed. Earth will continue until it proves otherwise." And the figure disappeared. Back on the surface, the crew stood in the sunlight. The wind blew softly. No fog. No beasts. Just silence. Tor said, "I don't like it. Feels like we're in a zoo." Zin replied, "We are." Ray looked at the sky. "We were judged, and we weren't erased." Layla said, "Yet." Juno stood beside them, stronger than ever. "Kara ended the fear," she said. "Now it's our turn to end the doubt." Ray nodded. "We go back to Earth, not to warn them, but to prepare them." The ship entered Earth's orbit after 27 days of silence. Captain Ray stood near the front window. The blue planet looked peaceful from space. Oceans, clouds, cities glowing under night skies. But he knew the truth. Peace was never simple. Behind him, the crew prepared for landing. Juno, now stronger and more focused, stared quietly at Earth. "They won't believe us." "They have to," Layla said. "Because if they don't, they'll be judged." Zin finished uploading all logs into the Earth transmission relay. "Everything's ready," he said. Kara's logs, the virus data, the machine's message. Tor loaded his weapon and checked it again. "Just in case they don't listen." Ray nodded. "We give them the truth. After that, it's their choice." EARTH, Global Security Council, New Geneva. Inside a large underground chamber, the world's most powerful leaders sat in silence. A giant screen played back footage from Ree's ship, Kara's bunker, the virus in action, the heart tree, and the first machine's words, "Earth will continue until it proves otherwise." The lights turned on. Captain Ray stepped forward. "This is not a war warning," he said. "This is your test. We've been seen, measured, judged." A tall general stood. "By who? An alien? A machine?" "This could be faked." Juno replied calmly. "The virus was real. The fear it caused was real. And now it's gone. The only thing left is the one who is waiting." A scientist in the room asked, "If we pass the test, then why the warning?" Layla stepped forward. "Because it was only the first test. We were measured as individuals, but Earth will be judged as a whole." The council room went silent again. EARTH, Global Reactions. Message was broadcast worldwide. Most people didn't believe it at first. Some called it a trick. Others said it was a new alien threat. A few believed it instantly, but then strange signals began appearing from deep under the Earth's crust. From oceans. From the dark side of the moon. Zin explained it during a news conference. These are machine watchers, small observation units left by the first machine. They've been here longer than we've existed, sleeping, watching. Satellite images confirmed it. The machines were awakening, but not attacking. Just observing. Ray told the world. They don't want our planet. They don't want war. They want to know, are we ready to survive without destroying everything? Earth, the divided world. The world broke into two groups. The builders, scientists, thinkers, peace workers who believed Earth must change. Less war, more unity, less fear-based control. The burners, military leaders, powerful governments, and weapons industries who believed the machines would attack and must be destroyed before that dot on every screen. Debates raged. Do we wait and learn? Or strike first? United Earth Council secret meeting. A meeting was held underground. Only 10 people were invited. Captain Ray, Juno, Layla, Zin, and Tor were all there. A senior official said, "We need to choose. If these machines are real, then everything we've built could be ended in one strike." Tor leaned forward. "They could have ended us already." "But they didn't," Juno said. "That's the point. They're giving us a chance." The official frowned. "And if we make the wrong move?" Juno replied coldly, "Then Earth will burn." Earth, the tipping point. One country, afraid of the Watchers, launched a small attack, a test missile, fired at one of the machines hiding in the ocean. It hit. The machine did not fight back, but the sky above Earth turned red for 1 hour. Every machine glowed. Every satellite lost signal. Then everything returned to normal. And the machine's message was broadcast again, in every language. Warning noted. Next test begins. Earth, Phase 2. Panic followed. Markets crashed. Protests started. Some demanded war. Others begged for peace. The Earth stood on a knife's edge. The final HFY back aboard their ship. Ray and the crew received a message. The first machine had sent one more signal. Choice, a location, deep in space. One ship was allowed to go. If Earth wanted to speak, negotiate, or explain. This was the chance. Juno turned to Ray. "It's you. You're the one they trust now." Ray looked around the ship. Then back at Earth. "I won't fight for them," he said. "But I'll speak for them." Layla smiled. "Then let's go find the judge." Zin set the course. Tor powered the engines. Juno looked at the stars and said quietly, "Earth will rise, or it will burn. But at least now it has a voice." The EPILOGUE, the ship, left Earth's orbit. One ship, one crew. Voice of humanity. Behind them, Earth watched, waited, and hoped. And far away, in the deep dark space, the first machine waited. 2. The end.